So the next guest on my podcast is Khalid Farhan. Many of you may not know who Khalid is. He kind of remains off radar, has a day job, building up a content marketing agency on the side, and does a bit of affiliate marketing. So welcome, Khalid. Thanks for joining me.
No problem, man. It's good to be here. Good to be your guest. And it's funny because I interviewed you on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm in your show. So, yeah, full
Yeah,
circle.
that's it. It's good for you to finally be on the receiving end of some questions, rather than sitting there, asking them. I think it's good for you to demonstrate who you are, what you do, and share your good story with everyone. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, hopefully.
So you're an Indian guy based in Dublin, is that correct?
That's correct.
When did you relocate to Dublin?
So I came to Dublin in 2017, in September 2017, originally from Bangladesh, a small country in South Asia, right beside India, for those who don't know. And yeah, I came here in 2017 to do my master's. And funny enough, it was in digital marketing. The way it works in South Asia, there is a thing called Asian mentality with education. The thing is, you gotta get your bachelor, and it's good if you get your master's too. So I had my agency right when I was doing my bachelor's in marketing in Bangladesh. And when my mom basically wanted me to do a master's, and then I thought, if I have to do a master's, let's do it on digital marketing. And then I started Googling around which countries offer digital marketing masters. And funny enough, not a lot of universities offer digital marketing masters because I don't really think it's a master's that you can teach, because by the time you finish 1 year, everything basically changed. So there's no point in doing a master's in digital marketing. But yeah, I actually found a university called Trinity College Dublin in here, Dublin. So yeah, came here in 2017 and have been living here since then.
So when you say that you went there, and would you say for anyone who's considering like a masters or something like that, that it's a good foundation, or would you say forget about it and try and get self taught?
That's a good question. If you're interested in learning digital marketing is so broad that it's not possible for a master's to teach you everything about digital marketing in 1 year. So if you're interested in learning digital marketing, my recommendation would be not to go for a master's. Find out which segment of digital marketing that you're interested in. So it might be SEO, it might be social, it might be paid ads, it might be PPC or whatever. Then try to get self-taught or find a good course, and yeah, just browse around internet and find your solution from there, because uh, I don't think I've learned a lot in my master's about digital marketing. Yeah, there are other benefits, like if you're in a good college, you get the branding benefit. It's easier for you to network around. Trinity has a great entrepreneurial culture, so it's easier to meet other startup founders and stuff. But yeah, about the actual thing that you learn, you wouldn't learn a lot in a digital marketing master's.
I mean, would you agree? Like, I do some work with some local universities, and what they do is tend to get people like me into, someone who's currently working in digital marketing to try and give their input, because the teachers are so far out of date. It's like guys who were doing digital, 5, 10 years ago. Would that be the same at the place you were attending?
Uh, so it's a mix. The guy who did our Google PPC, there was a training about Google AdWords. I mean, there's a course about Google AdWords, and the guy who did that is a famous guy in Dublin. He runs his own agency and stuff, so he knew what he was teaching. Most of the other ones actually were base level people. Like, they were more interested in teaching you the 4 P's of marketing than an actual tactical stuff. So the course actually revolved around more theory than practical stuff, if that makes sense.
Interesting. No, I think it's great for people to hear that, someone who has done a master's is potentially saying it was a waste of time. I think especially in digital marketing, as you say, there's so much to learn and so much changes that, I would think it would be very difficult to educate anyone at, as a university. I think just giving people a good grounding and then being self-taught is definitely the way forward. So from there, I take it your plans are to stay in Ireland now, or what's the plan with yourself?
Huh. I actually don't know. So after I finished my masters, I got a job offer from. I first got an internship offer from Google, which I didn't do because it was in a sales role, and I was not interested in sales. Then I moved in a small county in Ireland to do a digital marketing manager's role in a cell phone company. Did that for about 2 months, and then moved back in Dublin and joined the SEO agency and started managing clients for them. So have been doing that. I don't really know if I'll stay in Dublin. My girlfriend is now doing her masters in Nottingham University, so she is pretty much a Ryanair flight away. So it's a good place to be in than being in Bangladesh, because I can just meet her on every weekend, every other weekend. And also, when you're in Ireland or when you're anywhere in Europe, you get access to 28, 29 countries to be around. So yeah, it's a great place. Europe is a great place to be in if you're interested in history, traveling and stuff. So yeah, my plan is probably just be here for a few years, see how things go, and then decide if you want to settle in Europe or just go back home. Or maybe
Yeah,
go to a third country and be a digital nomad. Who knows?
yeah. Go to America and crack that as well. The world's a big place, so I think it's great, especially in this industry. You've got the opportunity to be able to do that as well. It's amazing. Um, so you mentioned there that you're working. You're still in that small digital marketing agency. That's correct, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
So obviously, prior to speaking to you on this podcast, I dug about a bit and was, interested in hearing a bit about your story. And what I found really interesting is while you have obviously learned digital marketing and then went on to get some experience in an in-house role, you also have a sideline gig that does reasonably well for you, a content marketing agency for people looking for Amazon content and stuff like that. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I started this as a, so I started. I'll give you a backstory. I built my first affiliate website back in 2016 when I was still in Bangladesh. So yeah, I built that. First one failed. Then I built a second one. That one did quite well. Then I sold it for about $6,000. Then built a third one and kept on building a few. And then realized that there is a need for people. There is a need among affiliate marketers to get good content, and good content was expensive and still is expensive. So then we launched this company called Passive Journal. The URL is passivejournal.io. And yeah, we started offering content service. We started doing the HP human proof designs route a little. So we started offering content, started offering ready-made sites, a few other services. Then after a year or so, I basically canceled everything and only kept content there. And then since I moved in Ireland in 2017, I started also doing SEO because I saw there's a market for SEO services in Dublin, in Ireland. People were interested, local businesses were interested in getting ranked on the first page of Google. And I had this company that was only offering content marketing. I wouldn't say content marketing, basically content services to affiliate marketers. Then I thought, let's start a second service offering SEO services to local businesses. So then we started doing that too. So yeah, now that business offers content for affiliate marketers and also SEO services for local businesses.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing. Obviously, you've felt the journey, and I'm assuming the web design side of things, was that just too stressful, too many changes? What was the reason for cutting that side of things off?
Uh, I didn't really have great success with the authority site building service. That's one of the main reasons. It was just the client pressure was too much for me as a one person team to basically manage. And then I thought it'll probably be easier on me if I just cut down that, only offer content, because I have these content writers who can do the content. I just have to manage the whole thing. So basically take the order from clients, pass it to the writers, get the ready content from the writers, check it, pass it to the client. So I thought that'll be easier for my sanity than just doing everything. But yeah, now that the company has grown a little, and also I have grown in last 3-4 years, I sometimes think about relaunching those services, and I probably will relaunch some of those services again.
Yeah, I think it's important you find your feet and find your niche, and then probably expand out a little bit. I done something similar when I had an agency, and I was taking on way more than I could and probably should have,
Yeah.
all at once. But yeah, it's at least you recognise that early doors, and reverted back to what a service that you felt was working well. So on that service you mentioned there, it's for Amazon affiliate websites and stuff. So do your guys also add the links and everything else, or is it purely someone says to you, here's the product I want you to review, go away and write 2,000 words or whatever it is? What's the kind of process there?
So the process is we don't actually upload the content for our clients. So the process is you go to the website, you order the amount of words you need. So 1,000 words, 2,000 words, or 20,000 words, up to you. Once you order, you go to a client portal where our client manager will send you basically a format that you fill up. So you put your keywords, you put your instructions, you put your product links if it is a product review, and then you send that back within that client portal. And then our client manager will basically take that, see which writers are available, and they then basically pass it to that writer. We sometimes try to do internal outbound linking, so natural authority outbound linking, but we don't really. It's basically a Word document that you get as an end result. We don't really upload it to your website or add images or anything like that, because the price is also pretty low. It's $23 at this point for every 1,000 words. The way we manage to keep the price low is because we hire all of our writers on a full-time monthly payroll. So all writers work for us full-time on a monthly basis. So they work 7 to 8 hours a day, 20 to 25 days a month. That way we get to play with the pricing. So yeah, that's about it.
So how much did you say for 1,000 words?
It's $23 right now.
$20. No, that's a decent price there. Obviously, prior to the podcast, I was talking to you a bit about pricing and all that kind of stuff. Some of the prices can vary wildly, and I think most guys doing Amazon want to get an element of quality whilst not paying an arm and a leg. I think the key here is you see some content writers who, like for me as an Amazon affiliate, I don't really care if the content is perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect because no one probably reads it, but it's got to be good enough to rank well. So I think some content writers don't see that part, and they're charging premium prices for something they probably don't have to. They could do volume and still make a lot of money. So I take it you don't do any of the writing. Everything's just outsourced. It's just your pro and everything.
That's correct. We wouldn't call it outsourced because all these writers are our full-time. So basically, they're full-time employees of our company, Passive Journal. So it's not technically outsourced, but yeah, I don't do the writing. There's a writing team of about 9 people now, I think.
Cool. And in terms of volume, what sort of customers are you looking for? Are you looking for guys who are interested in like 1 or 2 pages, or can you cope with tons and tons and tons of pages? I'm always asked by people, tell me a good content writing service. Everyone just goes to tech broker and the likes because they can get what they want, and there's the ability to order 50 articles there, or whatever. Do you have like specific volume? Like, can you totally scale this up if someone wanted, 150 articles?
So currently we do approximately about 400,000 to 600,000 words a month. We can, of course, scale up or scale down depending on the situation. So, for example, in November, we will get a Black Friday hit. That always happens. Last year, we had a massive spike of orders. So we know that, so we're planning accordingly. So generally how it works is when we know that we will get a hit with a massive order in a Black Friday or in a Cyber Monday, we generally prepare, and we other than our regular writers who are working full time, we also have a bunch of freelancers who we have worked with in the past and who we are in connection with. And basically, we then reach out to them and say, hey, we have some additional projects. Would you be interested in filling this? Because time is crazy. And generally, we manage to do about 800,000 words a month on a good month without any issues.
You need to break the 1 million barrier just for the sheer hell of being able to promote that. That would be quite a good.
The problem, Craig, the problem is I always try to. So I have my own affiliate sites too, and I always try to basically find a writer of our agency who's free enough so that I can give him some of my own work. And what happens is I keep on pushing my own articles. So I have websites which I started like 5 months ago, and they only have like 2 articles now because I actually couldn't find a free writer on our own agency who will be able to do my own stuff. So yeah, that's a good thing
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, nah, well, good and bad. I think you always do have to make sure that your own assets and stuff do, get serviced properly, rather than service making everyone else millions of pounds basically,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there doing the kind of the legwork there for that. But yeah, each to their own. So, how many affiliate websites do you actually have personally?
I actually don't have much. I only have two now. I had about 5 or 6 last year, till last year, but then I ended up selling most of it in by mid 2018. Yeah, now I only have two, and both of them are fresh, so I'm not making much money from affiliate stuff these days.
So, is that something obviously you would like to scale up going forward, or what's your plans with that?
To be honest, Craig, I don't really know. Probably I will. Generally, I build affiliate sites. So I have a course for my Bangladeshi audience. It's in Bengali, so if you want, you can't buy it unless you speak Bengali. And in that course, what I do is I try to start one site every year, build it from the ground up, make it reach up to $1,000 a month or $500 a month, and show the whole process to my students. So that's basically my motivation to start new sites. When I do a new site, I try to document everything so that I can show it to my students. So the new two sites that I'm building right now, both of those are getting documented every step of the way so that I can show my students what I'm doing. And yeah, that's one of the main goals of me starting new sites. I'm not in the authority website game that strongly because the SEO agency side and the content side is doing well. But yeah, hopefully once these two sites start doing well, I'll probably invest more time. It's just I'm also doing a full-time job Monday to Friday, so it's very difficult for me to manage enough time to juggle everything. So yeah, things get tough.
No, I think it's a remarkable achievement to hold down a full time job, and even just do the kind of content for affiliate agency, if you like. There's enough work there to probably kill most other people off. Never mind launching big authority websites and stuff. So on that subject, obviously you hold down a full time job. What are your plans, just to gain more experience in the agency for a while, and just slowly build things up, or do you have plans to scale up massively on the kind of your own projects? What's going on in your head with that?
So your listeners might have this question that I get quite a lot of times, that if you're making good money with your agency side of things, if you're making good money with your affiliate websites, what's the point in having a job? Why do you have a job? And I agree. I totally agree that the job does not pay even remotely enough to the amount that I make with the passive journal agency and with the affiliate side stuff. But the issue here is that I'm on a visa immigration issue in Ireland. So if I want to stay in Ireland, I'll have to be in a job, and that basically keeps me in that job. It's not like I hate the job; I like the job. The job is also about SEO, managing SEO clients and stuff, which I like. The office is great too, but yeah, I have to be in a job till I'd say the end of 2021, or I think September 2021, before I move to the next visa program, which basically will allow me to just do the business and do nothing else. So yeah, that's the reason that why I'm still doing the job.
Ah, right. No, I've never been aware of that. Obviously, I'm a UK citizen, so I've never had that problem. I've never relocated or anything. So it's interesting to hear that, because I know your content side of things does very well, and it's a question I was asking myself. I'm like, if he's doing well on that, why the hell would he go to work Monday to Friday 9 till 5? So it's good to hear the reason for that. Sometimes people might just think, okay, just wants more money, or he's lazy and doesn't want to scale up. But it's interesting to hear that there's legal or reasons that you have to do what you have to
Yep.
do.
Let the
So
let the Brexit
um,
hit, and you will know too.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Hopefully it all pans out okay, but I'm sure it will. But nah, I think what you know, a lot of us are ignorant here in the UK. We don't, move to other countries, so it's amazing to hear, a man from India, coming here and how the kind of fights that you would have to set up a business and obviously have to do your education and everything else. So it's interesting stuff. So when the September 2021 comes, I take it the plan is to then just do your own stuff, start up your own business properly, and to concentrate fully on that.
That's correct. Yeah, that's my plan for now. Once September 2021 hits, I'll basically quit the job, and then do full time on the affiliate sites and on the content. If I still have passive journal till then, I'll probably invest more time on the agency and also more on some affiliate sites, and probably start some new ventures, new projects and stuff.
Yeah. So for anyone listening that is abroad, I've got a fairly big Indian audience, for example.
Hmm.
It sounds like a lot of hard work to then come and study here, get a job, and then build up your own stuff. I mean, is it really that hard, or is it plain sailing? What would you advise to someone else in that position? Would you say it's definitely worth it, or would you advise on something else now? Feeling all the kind of pain you have doing what you've done, would you recommend something else?
I've a lot of Indian friends who studied the same masters that I did, the digital marketing masters, and a lot of them went back. See, you and me, the internet marketing community, we're in a weird situation where we know how to make our own money. We don't really need a job, and but the the situation, the legality, the immigration stuff actually makes us. The immigration laws are not built in a way so that you can basically get done with your masters and then start your own business. I think UK probably still allows it if you have a lot of money, and if you can invest a lot of money, you can immediately start your own business after you're done with your masters. In Ireland and in rest of the Europe, I think, don't quote me on it, but I think you can't. You'll have to work in a company for a certain period of time. That company will sponsor your visa for up to 2 years in Ireland. I don't know what the year phase would be in other European countries, but it would probably be the same. So in Ireland, how it works is you get your master's, you get a 2-year visa, and then you work somewhere for 2 years. And then basically you get a permanent residency, which allows you to work whatever you want, allows you to basically do whatever you want in Ireland. It is not that difficult. If you're looking to get a job, especially in the SEO or in the marketing or digital marketing space in Ireland, it is not that difficult to get a job. Ireland is doing pretty well economically. The big tech companies are all here. So if you're from India, if you're from Bangladesh, or from that part of the world, and if you want to come and settle in Europe, and basically want to get a job and settle in, I would say, yeah, doing a master's might be a good move for you. Just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. It might be a lot of hard work, but yeah, you'll probably end up being just fine.
But now I've got a tough question. I'm not sure, well, it's not that tough, but right. So you come to Ireland, you really do need a job, and I'm an agency owner in Ireland. Just this is just hypothetically. Do you find that maybe there's a potential there for people to use and abuse the fact that you're so desperate and you need that job to get your visa, that they give you kind of bad wages, or do you still get a standard wage? How does that work?
So there's minimum wage laws that'll protect you. But if you're
Hmm.
good, if you know what you're worth, if you have stuff to show, I don't think, because see, Ireland is now in a full employment, so companies are looking for people, and they're not being able to find good people. And especially in the SEO space or in the digital marketing space, it's very difficult to find good people who actually know. Everyone reads a brand in blog post and think that they're good at SEO, but people who actually did stuff, people who actually ranked websites, they're still a rare breed to find. So if you're good at SEO, I'm pretty sure that you'll not have a salary issue in Ireland or in anywhere in the world.
Just interesting, and I've never heard of anyone having a salary issue. Just I know that some people try and exploit people when their backs against the wall or whatever it may be. And I didn't know if that was potentially a problem that you had found.
Mm-hmm.
But great to hear that it's not, and your value is obviously rewarded. I think you're totally right though in terms of building up an agency. I always struggled to find good people, good, honest, reliable people, and everything else can be trained in terms of skills. But I think there's a big lack of work ethic, especially where I'm based in the UK. Some people just don't want to come to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and develop themselves. So yeah, I think there is a massive lack of good, solid, honest people. And I think for me, I outsource a lot of work to all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
People have different skills, and I've got to take advantage of that purely because the locals don't seem to want to work. So yeah, it's great to hear that there is opportunities regardless. So obviously you're kind of newish to the digital marketing game. Out with obviously your masters in learning in the agency that you're in and stuff like that. What other things are you doing to keep on top of the game or continue to develop? Is there blogs? Is it meetups, conferences? How do you continue to grow?
That's a very good question. Let me think. What do I do to grow my knowledge and stuff? So the agency actually really helps in this case. They actually force you to do stuff that you wouldn't on your own probably do. For example, the agency recently is forcing me to do all the SEM Rush basic courses, all the master's courses. I think we also have your course on our agency, so I'll probably go through that at some point. The agency forces you to go to events like I think we will go to Brighton next year, April. So that way you stay connected to the world. And in general, just if you're connected in the SEO community, I know a lot of people in the SEO community by now. I'm doing a podcast on my website where I'm talking with SEOs like yourself, like Matt Diggity and others, and you get to learn a lot from them. I'm listening to podcasts pretty much every day religiously, and not because I want to make money, not because I need to know something very specific for that particular week or month, just because I like it. I like the world. I like the digital marketing and the SEO world. So and yeah, you build a few sites on the side, and also I work for about 40 clients for our agency, the agency that I work full time for. I manage about 40 clients for them, and 40 clients of 40 different verticals have 40 different issues every day. And when you solve those issues, you get to learn so much. Getting onto calls with those clients, with their marketing team, finding weird Russian backlinks and disavowing them, finding out solution of what will happen when Google's new search console basically removes the disavow tool. So yeah, you get to learn a lot if you're in the industry, if you're just aware about things that are happening around you. I don't have a specific solution to how you can stay updated, but yeah, just these are the methods that I use to learn. Just keep your senses open, listen to a lot of podcasts, see what smart people like Craig are doing, and just try to get inspired or maybe sometimes copy what they're doing.
Yeah, that's it. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. If something works very well, then just add it to your own strategy. And I think it's great that your agency are pushing you to learn, other people's courses rather than their own, because I think it's always nice for people to learn from out with the agency. So, for example, any of my staff, I regularly get other people in to train them just to give them a different perspective. I take them to Brighton SEO and various other things so that it's not the same old rubbish that I'm talking, just to hear other people's ideas, other people's ways of working. So I think for me, your agency do seem to be very on the ball in that respect, and obviously going to Brighton and whatnot. I think networking is a big one for me when you go to events. Just meeting up with other people is an important one as well. But with regards to your podcast and stuff like that, again, still it's remarkable. A guy who is fairly early on in his digital marketing career is running a podcast. What was it? Just to what was the thought process behind that? I know you said it's not money. It's not anything like that. So you enjoy it and stuff like that. But is that it? Just pure enjoyment? You want to give back to the community, or is there something longer term you want to gain from the podcast?
So, of course, there are stuff that I want from the podcast to happen, but yeah, I'm not looking for sponsorship or monetary gains from the podcast at this point. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for about 1.5, 2 years now, but never really got the courage to start a podcast. Being a non-native English speaker, it takes a lot to basically start speaking, and I am kind of an introvert. I used to be a lot. I mean, like, I used to not talk to anyone, but since I came to Ireland in 2017, things started changing. I started to talking to people. But when I was home in Bangladesh, all I was doing was in my bedroom building sites, replying to emails of clients. Never used to pick up phone calls. But yeah, things are changing. About the podcast, my goal right now is just to interview good people. I have a fairly big enough audience size in Bangladesh. The people in the internet marketing space, in the digital marketing space, know me. I have a YouTube channel also in Bengali, which has about 35,000 subscribers at this point. The website gets decent visit from Bangladesh too, and that community didn't really have access to someone who would be good enough to talk to people who are in the international space doing well in the marketing and SEO industry. And yeah, so I wanted to be that person for them. That's one. The second one is, of course, when you interview someone like Craig Campbell, maybe down the line in 5, 6 years, I'll need a job and I'll hit you up. Maybe I'll you don't know what you don't know. You might need something from them at some point in the future, and then you will thank that previous version of yourself, that well done for that podcast that opened up that door for you. So yeah, just networking, just meeting new people. And of course, the third one would be, there's so much to learn from these people. There's so much to learn from you and everyone that I'm interviewing. I'm interviewing a lot of SaaS founders these days too, because I have a SaaS product idea that I'm developing. So I thought interviewing SaaS founders and trying to know what they're doing, how they marketed their product and stuff, that is really helping me too. So it's purely, if I just give you the simpler version of it, that would be just gain knowledge from smarter people, try to give back to the Bangladeshi community that I have, and yeah, just make sure that you network and keep the doors open for future opportunities for a rainy day.
Yeah, no, I think it's smart, and as I say, your podcast actually gave me the kick in the ass to do my own. It's actually something I have actually set up Podbean and everything else that's going to host my podcast. I've done that in April, and it's actually taken until now when I recorded the pod. I record lots of podcasts with lots of different people, and then when I was doing your podcast, and I was just looking at Zencaster and stuff, and I'm like, this is so easy, and I chat so much garbage to everyone every day anyway that people may find interesting. So I thought, just get Zencaster and just start booking people in. So my reasons are not for money to gain. I think for me, I've got the experience and knowledge to be able to ask questions to people, smart people, and find out how they do things or what the thought processes were, or and that's what I want to give back to the community. Just a bit of knowledge and a bit of fun as well along the way. Just asking stuff that maybe some other people wouldn't ask, and offer value that way. Because I think we all want to hear real stories and your real, the real way things have worked, rather than the kind of fancied up version. The fancied up version is always very boring. So it's good to hear that people do have problems and stuff like that. So that's my role behind it. But for anyone looking to have a listen to your podcast, where do they find you?
They'll find me on khalidfarhan.com. That's my website. That's where the podcasts get published. They'll be able to find those there. And then from there, they'll also get the links of iTunes, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. You'll be able to find all the links from that website.
Cool. Well, Callie, that is us pretty much out of time for today. But I do want to thank you again for taking the time to come on and share a bit about your story and how you got there and everything else. I think a lot of people take a lot from it, and hopefully, as I say, we can maybe get you on in the future for an update, find out how the podcast's going and how everything else is going in the content side. But yeah, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on.
No problem, man. It's been a pleasure. It's one of the best ways to spend your Sunday. Just chat with Craig about SEO and life.
Thank you, Callie.
No problem.